To all of you guys that just keep coming aboard. But my story time for this week is just really connected to resiliency. When I figured out I had it, like how I noticed a set in it, and then just like how I embed that in business. So even for me, like my resiliency tapped in way even before business, teaching, all of that. Like I would say my resiliency tapped in high school, and that was like our first big grief event. Like my grandpa was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and it just went so fast of like just the physical change in him. And that was my first time really understanding like cancer, and like he was literally that man. Like that was my grandpa that took care of everybody. It was just a shock to everybody in my family. And I remember being at school and like people were looking for me. A ride was set up for me to pick me up from school, and they're like, you gotta go, your grandpa passed. I just packed up my bag and went out there, got in the car. I remember that we got there and that happened. Went back to school the next day. Fast forward to like me getting out of college, growing up, I'm working my first corporate job, and the same thing. They told me, and they're like, hey, we just gotta call your biological dad has passed. And I didn't have much of a relationship with him. My goal was to, as I got older, now that I'm making money, I could drive, I was gonna go try to build that relationship with him, and I just didn't get a chance to. But it was the same thing as like, okay, I'm in the middle of a shift, pack up, somebody just called, another tragedy has happened, and I went back to work the next day. Teaching is what really taught me like, things happen, don't sit in it, but the people around you really help impact like how you come out of it. So like it was towards the end of my teaching, it's like my stepdad, the one who raised us, he had cancer, and we kind of seen that whole transition of, doctor visits, ER, when it got to a point where he's like, hey, they're telling me this or that. Like that whole thing happened while I was a teacher. And I had to be mindful of either way, I got to show up for these kids. I still got to be the happy teacher they see. I still got to be the one out there with my J's on in a dress playing basketball with these boys. I still got to be out here playing Foursquare. Like I just had to do all of that, still understanding that there was another side of life unfolding or changing soon. And I went through other things during teaching, but I would say the biggest thing was like my stepdad passing me, because that was a huge shift in our family dynamic. I would say shout out to my girls, Mrs. H and Miss K. When I tell you teacher partners for life, they just made that whole experience. There are people that literally would tell you their grief so that you can let them sit in it and they can wallow in it. They didn't do that for me. Like they made sure that we acknowledged it, but they didn't let me sit in it. We would talk about it. Is what helped me understand with business that I'm gonna have employees. I'm gonna have employees that go through things. Am I gonna be a part of the conversation that helps them sit in it and use it as an excuse that they can't move forward and they're frozen? Or am I gonna be that person that's helping them through it? Like I'm holding their hand, like, okay, we're gonna get through this. I get it, it's hard. We're gonna cry it out. But like we still got stuff to do. So I think that is something that I transferred over into businesses. Like you can still keep going even when the bad happens to you, because if you stop, then what? If I let you stop as a leader, then what? So that whole experience and just everything else in general has just taught me to, like, life has to move on. We have to keep going, but there's a way to do it. There's a way to balance it, to still be supportive, but not be that person that aids in somebody limiting themselves. You just gotta have that understanding, and it's not gonna be the same or universal. Just like your kids, it's differentiated. Your kid doesn't handle a bad moment, so your employees won't either handle them the same. So I just think all of those experiences just really taught me, like, I know my strength. I know I'm more resilient than most, but I know there's probably somebody out there way more resilient than me that's gone through things. So just being understanding and just knowing that as a leader, whether I was in the classroom or not, my goal is to always acknowledge, see how I can help reinforce though. We don't get up though, and just keep moving forward, because that's our job. So I appreciate teaching for that. I appreciate my teaching partners during those times, and I just appreciate the fact that I didn't let it hold me down. And more things are going to happen, and it's not going to hold me down either. You're going to be just fine and recover from it. So thank you for watching. That was my episode 6 story time, and yeah, just keep tuning in. I appreciate all of you guys and all the love, and keep sharing.